I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, 'cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right, we gon' get it right. We gon' get it right.
Protests and anthems, yes, we chanting a movement of people. It's like we dancing to the ministry of. It's the energy of, in memory of them that we love. The trinity of the people, the peace, the power, the truth. We speak the powers even louder. We can say it blacker, we can say it prouder. A woman vice president that went to Howard. Now we talk helping black businesses, and our differences is magnificent. Bringing light to the void where the prisons is. I was told good life is where forgiveness lives. The ascension is to leave what's left behind and feed the seeds for deeds that bless the mind, caress the mind, and question justify. With you and God in time, I best align.
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, 'cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right.
We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, your host and White House correspondent. I'm in touch, and so you be in touch. Follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q, DRNIIQ, and there I am, fresh for you to follow. Also, be sure to download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or simply tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580, and there we are for your listening pleasure. Last but not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. That way you will never miss an episode. You'll never miss a push notification. You'll never miss a really big scoop or a really big interview, all of the above. If you haven't heard already, Kamala Harris making some major news today, announcing that she will not be running for governor of California. A source familiar with her thinking says that she was tempted to run for California governor, but ultimately didn't want to do the job. She's been in elective office for decades and wanted to take some time to experience life as a private citizen and see how she can be most helpful. We all know that she's writing a book, but you may not know that she's setting up a nonprofit and is intending to travel the country to campaign for Democrats. We're going to talk a whole lot more about this in our second hour with our guest, Democratic strategist and former South Carolina Democratic Party chair, Isaac Wilson. He'll be joining us along with our favorite pop culture contributor, Al Reynolds. So we'll be getting into that in the second hour. But in this first hour, we'll be talking shortly with Wendell Pierce, our favorite journeyman actor, who is in a hit movie right now. If you haven't seen Superman, you may want to put that on your short list as the weekend is right around the corner. But we have a wide-ranging interview with him coming up. But now it's time for your national news roundup. It's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. Just yesterday while we were on air, remember we broke that news about the earthquake off the coast of Russia, one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded. Well, it generated tsunami warnings across the world, Japan, Hawaii, the entire west coast of the United States. Well, the tsunami waves reached Hawaii and the west coast after that historically powerful earthquake struck off the Russian coast. But evacuation orders and an advisory in Hawaii were later lifted. And beaches right here in Los Angeles County were reopened today as the threat to U.S. shores has eased. USA Today reporting that Russian officials reported little damage from the 8.8 magnitude earthquake on Tuesday. That was the quake that created the tsunami wave that began arriving in Hawaii after 7 p.m. local time. Authorities brace for the possibility of major damage. Tsunamis, of course, can cause a long series of waves, flood coastal areas, and present other dangers for hours. We are glad that we didn't see any evidence of that. State emergency management officials in Hawaii, they said that widespread flooding was not expected, but they urged residents to remain cautious in or near the water, stay away from beaches, shorelines, and out of the ocean just a little while longer. Just a little while longer out of an abundance of caution. In other news, the Associated Press is reporting that the Trump administration is launching a new private health tracking system with big tech's help. That's right. The Trump administration announced that it's launching a new program that will allow Americans to share personal health data and medical records across health systems and apps run by private tech companies, promising that they'll make it easier to access health records and monitor wellness. Now, look, I, like you, appreciate efficiency. There's nothing more annoying than, when you call your healthcare provider, you call your doctor's office, and every single time you call, you have to go through the laundry list of information so that they can access your medical record. And if you have to talk to multiple specialists, you got to do that again and again and again and again. And so I know I'm not alone. I know we've all thought, well, wow, shouldn't there be a central system? Shouldn't all of this information be streamlined? More than 60 companies, including major tech companies like Google and Amazon and Apple, as well as healthcare giant United Health Group and CVS, they've all agreed to share patient data in this system. The initiative will focus on diabetes and weight management, conversational artificial intelligence that helps patients, and digital tools such as QR codes and apps that register patients for check-ins and track medication. The system, spearheaded by the administration, that's already freely shared highly personal data about Americans in ways that have tested legal bounds, could put patients' desires for more convenience at their doctor's office on a collision course with their expectations that their medical information be kept private. And so, look, it seems that folks are going to have an opportunity to opt in to this system, at least in the short term. And for folks who opt to do that, God bless you. Certainly, we scan our eyeballs and we offer our thumbprints when we're going through the TSA line for anybody who has global entry. We do it when we open and close our smartphones. And so is this just the next iteration of a more tech-savvy society? I don't know. Time will tell. In other news, a Virginia city councilman was doused in gasoline and lit on fire at an attack in his office. I saw this and right away began to wonder if this was just sort of the latest example of political violence in our country. NBC News reporting that a man poured gasoline on a Virginia city councilman and set him on fire today. Danville City Council member Lee Vogler was attacked at the office of a local media outlet called Showcase Magazine, where he works in Danville. It's a small city roughly 45 miles northwest of Greensboro, North Carolina. What happened was a man entered the office this morning and confronted Vogler before he doused him in flammable liquid. Vogler and the suspect then exited the building, where the suspect lit Vogler on fire. Police say that Vogler was airlifted to a hospital and his condition remains unknown. Police identified the suspect as Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes. He's 29 years old. He's also from Danville. He fled, but was picked up by law enforcement several blocks away. He's been charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding. Yikes. It's hard to imagine that a human being would do that to another human being. It really shocks the conscience. And speaking of shocking the conscience, the Washington Post reporting on Gaza airdrops delivering a fraction of what trucks could. That's at least what aid groups are saying. Of the scant path for food aid to reach Gazans facing starvation, one in particularly is ineffective. That's what these aid groups are saying. They're saying dropping these pallets of food from planes is not as effective. Airdrops tried briefly by the U.S. and others in March last year resumed over the weekend amid starvation crisis. A starvation crisis that the world's leading hunger monitors said this week had worsened dramatically to the point of famine. You see, Israel made an initial drop Saturday, followed by aid flights from other countries in the region, including Jordan, amid mounting international criticism over the impact of Israelis' policies in Gaza. Israel also said that it would facilitate more delivery of food trucks, open secure corridors, and pause fighting each day in certain areas to allow aid to increase. This story is still developing, and we're going to hope that they mean what they say as the famine is setting in. When we come forward, Wendell Pierce, a journeyman actor, one of our favorite actors, what movie has he not been in that was a fan favorite? I mean, we can go all the way back to Wait and Exhale, and even far beyond that. When we come forward, you don't want to miss my conversation with Wendell Pierce. It's a wide-ranging conversation where we talk about everything from Gaza to combating damaging narratives impacting our community, to the work that he's doing down in New Orleans, leading our sister station. You are listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward with Wendell Pierce.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me! National news, the consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and it's not every day that we have an opportunity to be in conversation with an Obie Award-winning actor and businessman whose portfolio of work spans across film, television, and theater. Born in New Orleans, trained at Juilliard, Wendell Pierce is known for some of the most memorable roles, including the detective Bunk Moorhead in The Wire, as well as Robert Zane in Suits. The list goes on and on and on. Welcome to the show, Wendell.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I mean, we have so much to talk about, but first things first, you're an artist. You've been in the game for a long time, and
it'll be 40 years. 40 years next month.
40 years. Wow.
Yes.
You don't look it.
Oh, well, thank you.
that must come with like a Kiehl's deal.
Yeah.
But I've got to get your reaction to just sort of the state of play in the industry. The great Nina Simone says, the job of an artist is to reflect the times. These are turbulent times for our country, for the world. How are you reflecting on that?
Well, a lot of times, especially here in America, we don't understand the role of the artist. Entertainment is just a byproduct of what we do. It is not the focus. What thoughts are to the individual, where you reflect on who you are, who you hope to become, your triumphs, your failures. When we gather together, that's the role of the artist, where we collectively, as community, come together and think about who we are, where we hope to go. We decide what our values are in the form of art, and then hopefully go out and act on those values. That's the role of an artist. And I'm trying to, especially now where we have the American secret police rounding up people in armored vehicles, and we're watching a genocide happening in Gaza by the state of Israel. And, we have to say something about that in our work so that we can reflect on it, because that's the role of the artist, where people will go, is this a reflection of my values? Who are we? Who do we want to be, as your show says, to form a more perfect union? That is a ongoing task.
An ongoing task indeed. You clearly not mincing words. Just yesterday on the show, we had an international affairs expert, Desiree Cormier-Smith. She joined our show. She's the former special representative for racial justice and diplomacy in the Biden-Harris administration. And we were talking about how influential Israeli public figures are starting to stand up. And they are calling on the global community to levy sanctions against Israel. I asked her yesterday if she thought that this was a turning point in the Israeli-Gaza conflict. You just brought up what so many people have been calling a genocide. Do you believe that that's a turning point for the global community?
Well, I've always come to believe that situations like this is it's like a chronic disease where you always have to be ever vigilant. We can never assume that we're at a turning point, or we've accomplished anything, or we've fallen behind. We just have to be vigilant and ongoing. I think it's a clarity. It's a moment of clarity for people who have who are kind of indifferent. Realize you can't watch starving children on television and in media and not have a visceral response to that. And so people are saying, what is going to be my contribution to this paradigm? Because that's the one thing you control, what you're going to do. And so I think that's the moment we're in, a moment of clarity of you cannot be indifferent to the pain and suffering that you see.
That is for sure. And one of the memorable things about the hit series The Wire is that it put pain and suffering and community in full display. Mm-hmm. So much that a lot of people far and wide have been calling for The Wire to come back. But CNN is reporting that you said that the show should stay untouched and in the past. Why did you say that?
Well, I don't think the show is in the past. I think it should be untouched because it is very effective in demonstrating the dysfunction in our society. It was the canary in the mine to let us know, as a cautionary tale, that if we go down the path we are on, this is how it destroys our communities and how it destroys individuals. And so, like a good book, the thing that makes something a classic is the fact that it spoke to the people when it was created. It speaks to people now. Wire will speak to people even after we're gone, because there's that common thread of humanity, and the impact of The Wire is something that is classic. And what makes it classic is that it speaks to people's humanity across time, across space, people from disparate walks of life, and across generations. You know, so it's that's why I say it should be untouched. So because we can go back to it over and over and over again and learn and the lessons that The Wire taught us and put out those warnings that The Wire taught us. You know, it's we see the impact of the dysfunction, and when you do not serve the people of your community, the greatest resource that we have, community, is destroyed. And that was the lesson of The Wire. And so I don't want, when something works, when something is impactful like that, you revisit it over and over and over. You don't change it. And that's
do you think The Wire has been helpful in helping us to assess, you know, leadership in general, but particularly Black leadership? When I think of, you know, just sort of all the changes that have happened in Baltimore, for example, over the past few decades, you know, I wonder if shows like The Wire, you know, have helped the public to judge leaders, to assess their leadership differently, perhaps more effectively, because of shows like The Wire.
I would hope so. As I said before, art is supposed to collectively make us reflect on what our values are and then go act on our values. And the one thing about The Wire, you know, people always say, you know, what a great show it is and all. As many people love The Wire, there were people that hated The Wire. And I was confronted by those folks even while we were doing it. And what I always say to that is, I'm glad you're upset by The Wire. I hope that when you look at The Wire, you are upset. You should be upset. And you should never lose the ability to be offended. I'm glad you're offended by that. But now I ask you this, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I remember this one woman confronting me on the train from Baltimore to New York. African-American woman, professional. I think she was on Wall Street. And she said, I hate The Wire, the depiction of all of, all these gangsters and just the characters that you have on that are just awful. And I said, we have Black lawyers and Black doctors. All the leadership in City Hall are Black. We have Black policemen. We have Black professionals, Black teachers. I said, but you only see the thugs, or those who are selling drugs or whatever. If you as a professional woman can only see that, imagine the impact that they have on those kids in the neighborhood. So maybe you should get in the neighborhood and combat the retraction to that underground economy that those kids are seeing because they can't participate in the regular economy. So it's okay that you're offended. What are you going to do about it? So that's the lesson that I think leadership is learning from The Wire.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing over many years.
Eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is officially ruling out a run for California governor. In a statement, she said she gave it serious thought but decided not to enter the race. Harris says her focus for now will be on supporting Democrats nationwide rather than holding elected office. The announcement keeps speculation alive about a potential presidential run in 2028. Shannon Sharpe is out at ESPN just weeks after settling a rape lawsuit. The network reportedly ended the deal, though Sharpe denies any wrongdoing, calling the suit a shakedown. And the D.C. Council is back continuing hearings on the Commander Stadium proposal. Tuesday's 14-hour session saw hundreds speak, some eager to bring the team back for the perks, others worried about being left out. Black Mayor Muriel Bowser and team reps will testify. The council's first vote is set for Friday and needs 7 yes votes to move forward. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
South LA, this is a crash on the 110 South connector to the 105 East. Left lane of that transition off limits, and delays are pushing back away from the 10. They've rolled a crash in Glendale out of lanes 134 East before Pacific, but that drive is still slow out of Burbank, getting away from Buena Vista. And as you make your way through West LA, a crash cleared 405 southbound out Olympic. Delays are still heavy getting away from Wilshire Boulevard.
Is it time for a new job? Then it's time for Express Employment Professionals. Quit the endless online job search. Enlist the pros. Let a local recruiter from one of their 870 locations help. And Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The tragic shooting in New York City Monday brought up a subject the NFL does not like to talk about. Shane Tamura, the gunman who killed 4 people inside a building where the NFL is headquartered, left a letter blaming the NFL for issues he was having with his brain. Tamura, a former running back at 2 Southern California high schools, did not play football after high school, but in his letter, he used the initial CTE, which stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain disorder caused by too many blows to the head. CTE is the most dreaded initial in the NFL. The league for years has rejected claims that CTE is directly responsible for long-term head injuries, but the league has paid more than $1.4 billion in settlements to former players dealing with CTE symptoms. With the season just around the corner, the last thing the NFL wants to be asked about is CTE. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah,
to give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has worksource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Now back to building a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing over many years, helping to combat some of the damaging narratives out there for our community, in our community, not just on film or behind the camera or on the stage, but also as owner of your very own station in New Orleans. Talk to us about your station in New Orleans and how being an owner of a station that people rely on, how that helps you prepare for your role as Perry White, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet newspaper in Superman.
Yes. Well, I'm one of the owners of WBOK, which is a Black talk radio station in New Orleans. It's a legacy station, over 70 years old. It was the place where, Black folks had a platform, when they don't have a platform in other aspects of the media. And actually, this week we're closing on an FM station, FM translator, so we're going to be broadening our scope of WBOK. Imagine back in the day, people would hear on WBOK, there's a Friday night fish fry happening, and Sunday Dr. King is going to be here, preaching. So it gives people a platform that they don't have other places, and that's really important. And that's a powerful engine of advocacy. And as an example, as a business owner, that's advocating for what I think is the 21st century social justice movement, which is economic development. We understand the 20th century political movement of the civil rights movement. To combine that with an economic engine in the 21st century will really mean progress for the community. So that's something that I'm very proud of. And to have that impact, you know, it's real world training for preparation of Perry White and Superman. You know, an editor who's struggling with a newspaper at a time when newspapers are having issues. So I knew firsthand what it's like to try to run a media company. So when I got into Perry White and to be given a great story like Superman, to land on my desk as an editor of the Daily Planet, that was a real gift. And so I feel the power of that movie when I also give people in New Orleans the opportunity to speak their mind on the radio at WBOK. So it's art imitating life, life imitating art. And I am proud to say that I have an association with KBLA. You know, we syndicate, and we're the first syndicated station of Tavis Smiley Show. So I'm very proud of that.
We are very proud of that too. We're very proud to call WBOK our sister station, especially in a time such as this, where we see journalism under attack. I'm sure you saw the $8 billion transaction that took place. Skydance is now the owner of CBS Paramount after a string of eyebrow-raising decisions by CBS Paramount, including really ending the Late Show with Steve Colbert, settling with President Trump. I think it was a $16 million check to his library. You know, what do you make of not the CBS Paramount deal specifically, but what do you make of this moment in journalism where we're seeing, you know, so many legacy institutions, legacy organizations seemingly bending the knee to power?
Well, I think we are living in a time of autocracy. It's evident. And at these times, you have a choice. And there's examples like you're saying of what's happening with CBS, what's happening at ABC, you know, capitulating, you know, to make sure that that their business is protected because you know the president is running it like an extortion operation. You either do this or we're going to cut you off. The capitulation of universities like Columbia University, where they have to give their curriculum to the White House before it's approved, before they teach it. Then you have the opposite of that, and then you have the law firms who said, you know, we'll capitulate and give tens of millions of dollars to make sure that we're able to even go into federal court, maybe to go into federal buildings to still do our business. But then you have the other example of people saying, you know, if you capitulate in times of autocracy, you are doomed to fail, and their eyes are clear. And so you have as opposed to Columbia, you have an example of Harvard University, the #1 university in the world, really, holding fast. As opposed to those law firms that have capitulated, you have the LDF, the Legal Defense Fund, or the NAACP, holding fast and fighting in the courts. You see other media companies saying, we will not capitulate and we will be journalists. We have a bar that is set and we're going to honor that bar. And so it gives people an opportunity to reflect on what their contribution is going to be to this dysfunctional paradigm. And so there are two clear choices, either to capitulate or to hold fast to your principles, no matter what may happen.
I want to ask you this. The Variety recently reported that Dean Cain, who's played Superman in previous franchises, in an appearance, he seemed to turn up the MAGA volume on the new Superman. And there was a subtle jab at Red State America. He says that he thinks that the Superman may be a little bit more woke. And, for our leaders, learners, and listeners out there, Dean Cain is a proud, supporter of President Trump. And so do you hear this and think, okay, no surprise there, plenty of room for people who've been a part of the franchise to have different points of view, but, or do you take offense to people that seem to, be issuing jabs at this iteration of Superman, calling it woke?
Well, you lose all credibility with me when you even use the term woke. Because what is woke? It is just it was used effectively in a political campaign to dispel, to be a catch-all phrase for a catch-all disparaging phrase. If I don't like something you're doing, all I have to do is call it woke. Unfortunately, they co-opted a term in our community, which was a term of endearment, a term of consciousness that you are about self-determination, exercising your right of self-determination, and being clear-eyed, and exercising a radical self-care. I grew up understanding that if you called me woke, I was proud. Then it was co-opted and turned into something disparaging. And all it was a misinformation campaign. So whenever anyone says this is woke now in that political vein, I just realize that it's just a misinformation campaign and they are uninformed and they are just trying to misdirect. And it is a fallacy. Whatever comes after they say something is woke is a fallacy and just propaganda. Everyone has a right to an opinion. They can have their opinions. I appreciate the fact that worldwide, so many millions of people have gone and just enjoyed the movie. And it's been a great commercial success as well.
A great commercial success, indeed. What's next for you, Mr. Pierce?
Right now, I am waiting in the next few weeks on August 15th, Highest to Lowest by Spike Lee, starring Denzel Washington. I'm in that movie. It's a wonderful movie. And we opened it in Cannes this summer. And so this summer here, I have 3 movies that are going to be out, very different, showing a range. I'm in Thunderbolts. I'm in Superman. I'm in Highest to Lowest. And then I'm on Elsbeth, CBS show. It's like a female Columbo on Thursday nights. I play a captain of a precinct there with Carrie Preston, who is absolutely wonderful, playing Elsbeth, this Columbo, this female Columbo. And then later on, there's a documentary of Katrina, and I had a question for myself 20 years ago of I'm imagining a kid asking me today, Mr. Pierce, 20 years ago in New Orleans' darkest hour, what did you do? And I put together a redevelopment of my historic neighborhood of Pontchartrain Park, and we rebuilt it brick by brick, house by house, block by block, and now we're on the National Register of Historic Places. So I'm in a documentary that is going to be talking about Katrina. I think that's on Netflix. It's actually executive produced by Spike Lee. And then in August, also, the American Revolution, Ken Burns' American Revolution, where I play James Lafayette. I'm the voice of James Lafayette, who's a Black patriot. And it's so interesting. That documentary is going to be so interesting because the question of slavery was there at the very beginning of this fight of the American Revolution, when the patriots were asking African Americans, join us and fight the British to liberate freedom. And they said, listen, we will join you, but this issue of slavery, you have to end right now. If we're going to fight for freedom, we all have to be free. And the patriots of the time asked them, well, just put it aside. I promise we'll take care of that at some point, but just fight with us right now. And there were so many Black men and women who were a part of the American Revolution, fighting the double V, as we called it in World War II, victory abroad and victory at home. They were fighting against the British and fighting for the promise that was given to them by the original patriots of ending slavery. It did not happen for another century, but that's a very interesting project. I'm very proud of that, the American Revolution by Ken Burns. So I'm very, very busy. And then next year, at the end of the TV season, when Elsbeth ends, I will be doing Othello at the Shakespeare Theater Company in Washington, D.C. I'm looking forward to that. So on stage, on television, and in film, I'm just a journeyman actor doing my thing.
Wow. Well, bravo. You've given us basically a whole curriculum. We have a lot to tap into. Please go out and see Superman, and then also that Katrina doc on Netflix. I'm sure that's
and Highest to Lowest. Denzel gives a great performance, and ASAP Rocky is absolutely wonderful in it as well. Spike Lee is doing his thing. It's real Spike Lee joy.
It's awesome. Thank you so much to Wendell Pierce. He is an Obie Award-winning actor and businessman, also the owner of WBOK. And so
WBOK
in New Orleans. Be sure to tap in, tune in. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to the Tony Award-winning producer and Tony-nominated actor, Wendell Pierce. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least likely to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raquel Graham, and I have a big announcement to make. I have my own radio show. It debuts on KBLA 1580 on August 2nd, and it is called Entrepreneuring. I'm an inventor, a Shark Tank winner, entrepreneur for over a decade, and a proud mom of 2. I created this show because I know firsthand that entrepreneurship doesn't have just one look. Entrepreneuring celebrates what building a business really looks like. Big, medium, small, and micro. Some of us are running multi-million-dollar operations. Some of us are braiding hair in our kitchens. We're bakers, grant writers, laundromat owners, event promoters. Mark your calendars. Please tune in August 2nd, KBLA 1580 at 1 p.m. Pacific time. No question is too big or small. Let me know what you'd like for me to cover. See you then.
We face tragedy,
but we don't fall into despair.
We continue our work to build a more perfect union.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai and it is time for the quiet part out loud. Look, we were just talking to Wendell Pierce, who is definitely hitting it out the ballpark in terms of doing the thing that we say so often on the show. Do what you can from where you are with what you have. Well, he has a whole lot of talent as an actor, no surprise there, but also as the owner of a radio station, a Black radio station in New Orleans. He understands the role that station plays, in addition to his own personal advocacy when it comes to issues that matter in our community. And, you know, one of the things we've been striving for so long is access to higher education. And we're seeing yet another example of the federal government weaponizing our ability to achieve that dream. The Guardian's reporting that the White House freezes $108 million in funds to Duke University over, guess what? Affirmative action. That's right. The Trump administration has frozen $108 million in federal research funding to Duke University after the federal government announced just this week that it was investigating allegations that the school engaged in racial discrimination in the form of affirmative action. And that's just according to a source close to this situation. The National Institutes of Health reportedly halted the funding to the private university in North Carolina. The developments came as the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Education, they issued this joint letter. They issued this joint letter to Duke stating that it had been made aware of allegations of what it called racial preferences in Duke's hiring, in Duke's student admissions, in Duke's governance and patient care and other operations. Of course, we know this isn't just about Duke. You see, Duke is the latest institution to have its federal funding held up as the government investigates allegations of anti-Semitism and policies that support greater diversity, equity, and inclusion that the Trump administration alleges are unlawful. It follows other investigations by the administration into top private universities, including Ivy League schools like Harvard and Columbia and Cornell. In Monday's letter to Duke, you want to know what the Trump administration said? You should know what they said, because as taxpayers, they're withholding our money. This ain't Trump's private account. This is our taxpayer money. And so you deserve to know that in Monday's letter to Duke, the Trump administration stated that it's been made aware of allegations that Duke University and Duke Health are engaged in practices that, quotes, if true, would violate the Civil Rights Act and a section of the Affordable Care Act and render Duke Health unfit for any further financial relationship with the federal government. They say that these practices allegedly include illegal and wrongful racial preferences and discriminatory activity in recruitment, student admission, scholarships, and financial aid, as well as mentoring, enrichment programs, hiring, promotions, and more. That was a letter from our federal government. Part of why this is so troubling is that it challenges the Civil Rights Act itself. Mark my words, but I think this is bigger than Duke. It's bigger than Harvard. It's bigger than any
one university or any one law firm. What this is about is gutting the Civil Rights Act, gutting the Civil Rights Act itself. One of the crown jewels of not just the American Civil Rights Movement, but one of the best examples of we the people doing our best to build a more perfect union. And so don't turn away from it. Take it seriously. Don't think that this is just about them over there. No, what's happening to Duke, what's happening to Harvard, it's also happening to us. We have a responsibility to continue to extend ladders of opportunity, ladders of social and economic mobility to one another and the next generation. Make no mistake about it. Letters like this, actions like this by the Trump administration, actions like this by the federal government are intended to take a chainsaw to ladders of opportunity, ladders of social and economic mobility. So next time you see a headline like this, I want you to remember that video, that image that's frozen in time of Elon Musk at the CPAC conference with that chainsaw. They are taking that chainsaw to your future, to my future, to our future. The question is, what are we going to do about it? When we come forward in our next hour, we're digging into some of the biggest headlines that are trending today, including former Vice President Kamala Harris's announcement that she's not running for governor of California. We'll unpack that and so much more, along with our pop culture contributor, Al Reynolds, and Democratic strategist, Isaac Wilson. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Chicago's Black Mayor Brandon Johnson is eyeing tax-rich options for the $1 budget gap by 2026.
So I think it's important that we look at, in a very meaningful way, how those individuals with means, particularly our billionaires and ultra